$0. Not zero in your bank account. Zero in passive income. Every dollar you make depends on you showing up. Every hour you stop, everything stops. You check your phone at 11:52 p.m. The room is quiet. Fan spinning slowly above you. Screen lighting up your face in the dark. Not for messages, for your balance. It's not low. It's just fragile. One missed paycheck and things start breaking. One bad month and everything unravels. You tell yourself, I just need to make more money. But that's not the real problem. And deep down you know it. Because you've seen people who don't work like you, but somehow earn more than you. While you're trading hours, they're owning something. Something invisible. Something that pays them, whether they wake up at 6 a.m. or not at all. That's the game. And right now, you're not even in it. This is what $0 in passive income feels like. Not dramatic. Not cinematic. Just constant background pressure. That never fully goes away. You can't relax. Not really. Even on your day off. Your mind is calculating. How long could I survive if income stopped today? You already know the answer. And you don't like it. So you start small. Not because you're confident, but because you're tired. Tired of resetting to zero every month. You watch videos, read threads, listen to people talk about making money while you sleep. It sounds fake, but also possible. And that's enough. You try something. It's not perfect. It's not scalable. It makes you $27. You're staring at the screen. Not moving. No sound. Just that number sitting there. You take a screenshot. Not to show anyone. Just to prove. It happened. In 1 week. $27 won't change your life. But something just shifted. Because for the first time, money came in. Without you being there when it happened. You refresh the page again. Same number. You smile just a little. This is the beginning. The first rule. Passive income is never passive at the start. It costs time, energy, focus, sometimes more than your job. And most people quit here. Because it feels like you're doing double the work for almost no reward. But you don't stop. Not because you're disciplined. Because now you've seen it. Even if it's small. It's real. You make your first $100 month. It takes 3 months. Doesn't feel impressive. But it feels different. Because now it's repeating. You wake up one morning. Phone in your hand. Still half asleep. You open the app. And pause. Because the number didn't come from today. And there's money in your account. No notification. No effort. Just there. And suddenly, your job feels different. Not worse. Just temporary. You start thinking in a new way. Not, how much can I earn this month? But, what can I build that earns every month? You test things. Some fail. Actually, most fail. One of them almost works. You get excited, then it drops to 0 the next week. You sit there refreshing the page, wondering if it was luck. You almost quit. Not dramatically. Quietly. You tell yourself, maybe this just isn't for me. And for a few days, you stop completely. One idea makes $12. Another makes nothing. One gets completely ignored. And here's the part nobody tells you. At this level, confusion is constant. You don't know what's working. You don't know what's scalable. You don't even know if you're wasting time. So you simplify. Instead of chasing everything, you focus on one thing that shows signs of life. Just one. You double down. Not perfectly, but consistently. And after months of nothing obvious, it happens again. $300 month. Still not life-changing. But now it's predictable. Now it's a system. The second rule. Consistency matters more than intelligence at this level. Because passive income isn't built on big moments. It's built on boring repetition. That compounds quietly. You start noticing something strange. Your effort is no longer directly tied to your income. Some days you work 6 hours, and nothing happens. Other days you do almost nothing, and money comes in. It messes with your head, because you've been trained your whole life. That effort equals reward. But here, that equation is breaking. This is where most people go back. Back to certainty. Back to hourly income. Back to control. But if you stay, something important happens. You stop chasing money and start building assets. At $1,000 a month in passive income, life doesn't change overnight. But pressure does. That background noise, the constant low-level stress, starts fatting. Because now, you have a margin. You can breathe a little. Think a little longer. Say no sometimes. And for the first time, you realize freedom isn't a number. It's a gap. The gap between what you need and what your systems produce. But here's the catch. This level is dangerous because it feels like you've made it. You haven't. Not even close. You're still fragile. One broken system. One algorithm chained. One bad decision. And it disappears. So you reinvest. Not everything, but enough to grow. You improve what's already working. Not chase new shiny ideas. And slowly, $1,000 becomes $2,400. Then $3,100. Then $4,000 a month. You look back and realize something strange. The hardest part was not making money. It was incredible. This was even possible. If you're at $0 right now, comment 0, right arrow 1 below. Because that first dollar changes everything. At $5,000 a month, the game changes. Not in how much you earn, but in how you think. You're no longer experimenting. You're optimizing. You track numbers. Cut what doesn't work. Scale what does. Your time becomes selective. You stop doing things that don't compound. And something else happens. Something subtle. People around you start noticing. They ask questions. How are you doing this? Is it risky? Is it sustainable? You try to explain, but it doesn't translate well. Because from the outside, it looks simple. From the inside, it's everything. Late nights, failed ideas, doubt, restarting, again and again and again. And if you want the exact roadmap of how people go from $0 to $10K a month, make sure you subscribe now. Because later in this video, most people won't be ready for what comes next. At this level, you stop asking, how do I make money? And start asking, how do I remove myself from the process? That question changes everything. Because now, you're not building income. You're building systems. Systems that work, even when you don't. And once you see that clearly, you can't unsee it. Because the real goal was never money. It was independence. And you're closer than you think. At $10,000 a month in passive income, you expect to feel free. But a few months ago, one of your main income streams dropped by 60%. No warning. No explanation. You remember that night, sitting in silence, realizing how fragile this still is. You don't. Not completely. Because now, the numbers are bigger. And so are the risks. You're not worried about survival anymore. You're worried about loss. One system slows down. Another dip. One income stream drops 30% in a month. And suddenly, you're paying attention again. Closely. This is the shift nobody prepares you for. The third rule. More income doesn't remove fear, it upgrades it. At lower levels, you fear not having enough. At this level, you fear losing what you built. So you adapt. You diversify. Not randomly. Intentionally. Different income streams. Different platforms. Different risk profiles. Because now you understand. One stream is luck. Multiple streams is strategy. You cross $20,000 a month. Then $35,000. And something interesting happens. You stop checking your income daily. Not because you don't care, but because you trust the systems. That trust is earned slowly, built through months of consistency and quiet proof. You start buying back your time. You outsource tasks, automate processes, remove bottlenecks, not to work less, but to think more. Because at this level, thinking is the highest leverage skill you have. If you've made it this far, you're already ahead of 95% of people. Don't watch this passively. Save this video, because you'll need to come back to it at every level. At $50,000 a month, you are no longer building income. You are allocating capital. You're not behind a laptop anymore. You're in a quiet room, looking at numbers that move, whether you touch them or not. That's a different game. You move money into systems that already work. Instead of building everything from scratch, you plug into momentum. You invest, partner, acquire. You stop asking, how do I create? And start asking, where is attention already flowing? And how do I position myself there? This is where speed increases. Because now, money is helping you make more money. Not slowly, exponentially. One decision can generate more than your entire first year. And also, lose just as much. So you become selective. Not every opportunity matters. Only the right ones. At $100,000 a month, your identity shifts again. You are no longer an operator. You are an owner. Your job is not to do the work. It's to direct it. You build teams. Not big ones. People who execute while you decide. And this creates distance. From work. From the details. Even from the outcomes. Because now, you're not in control of everything. You're in control of direction. And direction is enough. The fourth rule. At scale, control is replaced by clarity. You don't micromanage your position. You don't chase. You wait, then move fast. At $250,000 a month, your world changes. Not publicly, quietly. You're in rooms where deals happen, where numbers are discussed, without emotion, where $1 decisions take minutes. And here, you realize something. This was never about income. It was about access. Access to people. Access to opportunities. Access to leverage. At 1M month, you stop thinking in months. You think in cycles. You're sitting across a table. People talking in numbers. That used to feel impossible. Now they feel normal. And that's when it hits you. The game didn't just change. You did. Market cycles. Attention cycles. Opportunity cycles. You position early. Wait. Then move. Most people never see this level. Not because it's impossible. Because they stop too early. They reach $3K and slow down. $10K and get comfortable. They think they've arrived. They haven't. Because the final level is not about income at all. At $10 per year, passive income becomes invisible. Not because it disappears. Because it has become normal. You don't track every dollar. You track movement. Where capital flows. Where attention shifts. Where the next wave forms. You've built systems that run without you. Teams that execute without asking. Assets that grow without effort. And for the first time, you face a different question. What is this all for? Because when money stops being the goal, clarity becomes the only thing that matters. And most people never prepare for that. Some build more. Some give more. Some disappear completely. But all of them realize the final rule. Passive income doesn't buy freedom. It reveals what you do with it. And somewhere right now, someone is making their first $27 online. Refreshing the page. Not believing it. That's where this starts. Not at 10M. Not at 1M. At 0. Always 0. And the only difference between 0 and everything else is who keeps going.